Good evening, I'm Pinky Webb. Tonight we ask the questions, we tackle the issues, we clarify matters, and we get on point. The initial election results are out, and a veteran lawmaker is set to make a comeback at the Senate. His decades-long public service has made him consistently part of the Magic 12. Let's get on point with former Senate President and now Senator-elect Tito Soto. Tito Sen, magandang gabi po sa inyo at maraming salamat po sa oras.
Ay, maraming salamat for this opportunity, Pinky. Good evening and good evening to Billionario. Maraming salamat.
Tito Sen, kamusta po kayo? You are ranked number 8 right now. Before you is Senator Ping and after you, Senator Pia. Kamusta po ang inyong showing at number 8 ranking?
Well, pleasantly surprised. Okay lang. The surveys that we were getting more or less pictured it that way. A high of 3 and a low of 7 or 8, parang ganon. So it was on track, except that we were quite surprised at how the methodology of the survey companies were different from the outcome.
Yeah. Napag-usapan din po namin yan kanina together with Pulse Asia. And pati din sila, admittedly, medyo nagulat din sila sa ilang mga nakapasok. Especially, we were talking about it a while ago even with political analyst Ronald Llama. Si Senators Bam Aquino, Senators Kiko Pangilinan, and Congressman Rodante Marcoleta. But I want to focus more on the alyansa, no? So, kayo po, ang lumalabas po ay 5 plus 5 plus 2. 5 from alyansa, 5 from Duterte 10 plus 2. Sinasama ko na po doon si Camille Villar at si Senator Amy Marcos. At yung plus 2 po ay si Senator Kiko and Senator Bam. Do you agree?
Well, based on I have a different perspective, Pinky, because
Go ahead, sir.
Based on our last few days during the campaign, siguro if it's based on our perspective, it will be 6-3-2-1. That is how we look at it. It's 6 for the Alianza, and then 3 from the Duterte camp, and then 2 from the neutral ground, and Amy Marcos, who declared herself alone.
Aha.
Now, she never declared herself for pro-Duterte, although she was endorsed by Sara, and even Camille was endorsed by Sara, but Camille was still with us, and the NP was still intact with us, the Nacionalista Party, where they never removed themselves from the Alianza. So that because Pia Cayetano and Camille are both NP, and they remained in the Alianza itself. So ang bilang ko 6-3-2-1.
I see where you're coming from here, but when you talk about Camille Villar and Amy Marcos, sir, Amy Marcos launched a Senate investigation into the arrest of the former president and asked the ombudsman to look into possible violations by some members of the cabinet of her brother.
But,
At pangalawa po, si Camille Villar, yung kanila pong ad ay walang iwanan ng mga magkakaibigan.
Endorsed by, yeah, but technically, what I'm talking about is my perspective technically. Your perspective might be right. It could be 5-5-2. Pero that's how we look at it because we considered her part of the Alianza pa rin. Camille, she was endorsed by PP Sara, and there's no problem with that because all candidates would want to be endorsed by anyone, perhaps except the devil. So,
Okay.
It depends on how you look at it.
Siguro, yours is the more optimistic one, maybe? Would you think so?
Siguro, yeah, I think so. Because pag binila mo talaga, alyansa kami galing, 6 kami. Amy detached themselves.
Yeah.
But the members of the Duterte group talaga are Bongo, Bato, and
Marcoleta.
Dante Marcoleta.
Yeah.
Yes. So,
Okay. But
yun, deklarado yun because deklarado even in the 12. The 12 candidates that they were pushing for and was being pushed for by the group of Duterte did not include Camille.
but at the last minute it did, sir. Yung Duterte, yung naging +2 po nila from the Vice President were Amy Marcos and Camille Villar. This was just even the
Okay.
day, I
Well,
think, of the elections, Tito Sen.
well, as I said, that's my perspective. it's,
Okay.
that's fine.
Fair
I don't
enough.
think I don't think there'll be a problem anyway. So, whatever it is.
Okay. Tito Sen, sino po yung mga para sa inyo, sabi mo nga high of 3 kayo, yung sa mga survey na lumalabas and low of 7 or 8. And yet, of course, you ranked number 8. So, andun pa rin, ano? What do you think probably made you not make it to a higher ranking of maybe 3, 4, or 5?
Well, perhaps we didn't campaign enough. Yeah, perhaps we didn't. We were not able to deliver our message enough. But that's not. I don't think that's a problem again. That's an issue because sinasabi ko lagi ito eh. Yung number 1 sa number 12 pareho lang ang sweldo nun eh.
Hindi, tsaka pareho lang ang
Pagdating-
trabaho, sir.
After proclamation yung tabla-tabla na yun. Ano
Opo.
number 1 doon?
Tama naman po. But let's say INC vote, kayo po ba ay naging pasok doon?
Ay, hindi kami nakasama. So,
Pero you were
thank
hoping,
you.
no?
Well, we, of course, during the start of the campaign, baka December pa lang yata ron, I asked already for them to consider me. But as I said during the last 2 days of the campaign, the best endorsement is the endorsement of God. Nobody beats that.
All right, yeah. So, sabi nyo nga, babalik po kayo ng trabaho na wala po kayo ng 3 taon. That's correct na, Tito
Yes.
Sen? Dahil tumakbo kayo
Yes,
during
correct.
the national elections together with Senator Ping Lacson. So, kayo po
Yes.
ni Senator Ping, balik po sa Senado. Tell us about siguro the composition that you see right now sa mga nanalong 12 at sa maiiwan na 12. How would you describe it? Do you think this is going to be a little bit of mahirap ho bang maka-majority dito? Medyo neither
Hindi
here nor
naman.
there ba?
Hindi naman. Siguro madaling magkaroon ng majority yan because most of us, I'm considering myself already as a winner, no? Although I would like to wait for the official proclamation of COMELEC, which starts today. The counting starts today. So, but if I do consider myself already as a winner, yung composition now at saka yung nanganatuto naman, magkakakilala yan eh. Madali kami magkausap-usap eh kung ano ang dapat pag-usapan as far as being majority or minority is concerned. It will all boil down to talks and meetings on what committees should be handled by who
Apo.
and who wants this committee or what. Ganun
Yeah.
doon babaksak yan eh.
At doon din babagsak kung ano, ang trabaho o yung duty at power ng isang Senate President. Dahil napag-usapan po yan. Well, sa akin ang galing yung Senate President. Aminin ko po dati, in the past, meron po akong naririnig na pag nanalo si Tito Sen, ay posibleng siya ang maging Senate President.
Siguro dahil ako yung pinaka-antigo. I am the only senator who was elected in 1992. And the people, with the help of the people, and of course God, if I'm elected, this will be my 5th term. I will be the only senator in the history of the Philippines that has been voted into the Senate 5 times. Before it were only 3 of us who were voted 4 times. Ng 4 terms, si Lorenzo Tañada, si Frank Drilon, and myself.
Wow.
But because of this win, I will be the lone senator who was elected 5 times. And 1992, I am the only one who was elected in 1992. The next one will be Lauren Legarda, who was elected in 1998. The rest are, mga bago pa.
So kayo ang pinaka-senior ngayon at
Yes.
pinakamaraming beses na na-elect. And of course, let's not forget, this is going to be a fresh first term for you. Ibig sabihin, pagkatapos nito, meron ho kayong oportunidad na tumakbo muli sa Senado.
Yan ang malamang hindi ko nagawin.
Tapos na po.
Yan ang gusto, hindi na, siguro, ayoko na. Ano lang,
All right, Tito Sen? We must have lost him on the line, no? He was speaking to us via phone patch. We're going to try to get him again later on the line. The former Senate president was actually telling us that he is the
Wait,
senator.
hello?
Oh, there you go. Andyan na po si Tito Sen. Tito Sen, go ahead. Nawala po kayo ng saglit.
yeah, as I said, kasi I don't think I would consider running again after this. This will be the last. Kasi ang napag-usapan lang namin dito, and the reason that was because we wanted to straighten out how the budget is being run,
Okay.
how the Senate is running, or how the Senate is run, because in my 4.5 years as Senate President, maayos naman lahat wala naman problema So, baka sakali naman, pagka natutunan na kami, whether kami ma-elect as Senate President or not, we would be able to, keep everybody in tow.
Any particular chairmanship ang inyo pong nakikitang dapat dun po kayo sana mapunta?
Kung saka
Tito Sen, I'm losing you again on the phone. Oh, there you go.
hello.
Yes. Yung
If
committee po.
If I'm not as leader, I would probably ask for the Committee on Ethics.
Okay. Because,
The ethics spells what is needed to be done in the Senate.
what was the problem that you saw in the past that really made you want to go back?
It was the president who gave us the idea na kung pwede, tumulong kami para impalik yung tamang perspective ng tao sa Senado, kung paano harap dapat kung ano dapat yung mga dapat pinapasang batas at saka kung paano ginagastos ang pera ng bayan. Ganon yung napag-usapan namin kasi. So that was the main consideration why we accepted to run again.
But wasn't the president more concerned about pag pinag-uusapan po yung budget that emanated from the House, wasn't he more, how would you say that, unhappy, I guess, with how the budget had begun from coming from Malacanang?
He didn't say it directly, but knowing that he vetoed 160 billion in this budget that was passed this year, I know he was dissatisfied.
All right. Okay. Meron pa pong ilan sa mga sinasabi niyong inyong magiging prioridad. I want to talk about that just briefly while you're here, sir. You want to crack down on fake news, hindi ho ba?
Oh yes. We have to pass a law that will declare fake news as illegal. And then pwedeng doon sa batas natin, we can have a provision na take down agad pagka naputunayan fake news kasi in the meantime naiiwan yung fake news doon. So there must be a provision in the law that would take it down right away. The providers to be able to take it down right away and then panagutin yung mga nasa likod nito.
All right. And dahil nga sinasabi ngayon, laganap ang mis at disinformation. In fact, yan din po ang sinasabi ng Communications Office ng Presidente.
Grabe yan. Yes, grabe yan. What the National Security Council and the NICA was able to unearth was about 70-80% of this fake news comes from China. Tinatarget talaga yung gobyerno natin, tinatarget na siraan yung gobyerno natin.
And big on, si Senator Tolentino was actually big on this while campaigning. Nagkaroon po ng hearing hinggil nga dyan sa supposedly na may kinontrata, supposed to be, ang China dito nga sa Pilipinas para daw sa mis- at disinformation. Tito Sen, doon po sa inyong ad.
I saw the check.
Yeah.
I saw the check. It came from the embassy.
Yeah, you were saying it came from the Embassy of China.
Yes, the check. I saw the check.
Yeah. Yeah, that was part of the
It came
hearing.
from the embassy.
Opo. Tito Sen,
Yes,
also, no?
ito,
Balikan ko lang po yung isa sa mga sinabi nyo din na sa inyong ad, dahil napanood ko din po sa aking pagkaalala, hindi ko tatanggapin ang sweldo ko ng 6 na taon at ibibigay ko sa mga scholar. Tama ho ba?
Yes. I can put up the same group that we have in my television program, Itulaga, that we do e-best scholars. No, I can do that by screening yung mga mahihirap na estudyante na gusto mag-aral. Yung sweldo ko na every month, ilalagay na namin doon sa pag-aaral ng mga estudyante. My salary for 6 years. Meron nga ako narinig na, alam mo, ako na nga yung nagsasabi na yung hindi ako tatanggap na sweldo ko at yung sweldo ko bibigay ko sa mga mahihirap para magamit. Ang dialogue ba naman kasi daw pera naman daw nila ibibigay ko. Mali siya. Bakit? Sweldo ko yun Pwede ko ibulsa yun
Yeah.
Di ba? Pero hindi ko nga ibubulsa. Gagamitin ko para sa mga estudyante. Alam mo naman, siyempre, kahit ano sabihin mo maganda, lagi may pipintas pa rin
All right. Other priorities, Tito Sen?
Yeah, other priorities, well, definitely they straighten out the budget. And then I would try to pass this time the 14-month pay. Kasi the law on the 13th month was by President Ferdinand Marcos in 1975. Meron mga safeguards naman yun. Pero at this time, kailangan ng mga ng mga empleyado natin ng 14-month pay na bigay para sa June, makatulong sa matrikula ng iba, makapambili ng libro, sa pag-aaral. Again, the education is, I think, a priority talaga that we should have in the next few years. Kita natin yung resulta ng nitong hindi magandang resulta ng nangyari sa education in the last 2 or 3 years.
All right. And then at least you have former Senator, now Secretary Sonny Angara, leading the Education Department na nakasama mo din po sa Senado.
Oh, yes.
Opo.
Yes, and he's very capable, I'm sure. We will be able to help him through the budget.
Yeah. Tito Sen, former Senate President Tito Soto, maraming salamat po sa inyong oras. And of course, congratulations, sir.
Salamat po. Ako dapat magpasalamat. Una sa lahat sa very much for allowing us to be here for 90 days. Ngayon pa lang ako pinapaos So thank you sa inyo rin
Thank
for
you.
this opportunity to tell our people thank you very much.
And we'll have more interviews with
Okay.
you for sure in the coming
Sure,
months.
sure.
Maraming salamat, former Senate
Sure.
President
Thank you.
Tito Soto. Thank you. We'll be taking a very short break. Up next, a surprise winner in the gubernatorial race in Albay defeats a longtime politician. Stay tuned. This is On Point. All right, longtime politician, Albay Representative Joey Salceda suffers his first defeat in this year's gubernatorial race. His opponent leads by over 9,000 votes. Now let's get on point with incoming Albay Governor Noel Rosal. Governor, syempre pwede ko na po kayong tawaging governor dahil na-proclaim na po kayo, hindi ho ba?
Yes po, kaninang 2 o'clock.
Maraming salamat unang-una sa inyong oras. And number 2, congratulations, sir.
Thank you Pinky, and magandang gabi din sa lahat ng mga nakikinig ngayon, mga viewers natin.
Sir, kayo na po magkwento sa amin, papaano niyo ho ba na-defeat ang isang individual, no? Si Joey Salceda, undefeatable Joey Salceda, who actually from dito po sa Politico.com nabasa ko, undefeated for 27 years.
Yes. Actually, Pinky, kung yung na-monitor, ako po yung na-disqualified noong 2022. I won over then Governor Bicara. Then na-disqualify ako because of yung pagbigay ng ayuda during the campaign. So yung mga tao nakita yon because meron bagang declaration si Pangulong Duterte noon, yung Bayanihan Law. So yun ang naging yung mga tao medyo duda sila bakit kailangan i-disqualify, binigay yun sa mga tao. Yung mga tupad, in-exempt yun ng COMELEC. But ito na nga, nung tumakbo kami ngayon ni Kong Joey, nakita siguro ng tao ngayon na kailangan ng pagbabago ng liderato sa Albay. So, simple lang, Pinky, yung campaign ko more on basic. Una, yung power. Ito ang kuryente, ito talaga ang concern ngayon ng Albay, mahal at inefficiente. For more than 2 decades, hindi maayos-ayos ito. So sabi ko sa kanila, it can be done. We just have to bring back the power to the people through the cooperative. No? And pangalawa, umina yung opportunity ng mga tao sa Albay. Sabi ko, we have to review the branding of Albay. Ano ba talaga ang kailangan natin? Because we have the beautiful Mayon, we have beautiful beaches, meron tayong ecotourism. So we just have to really call on all the sectors of the society, the NGOs, para kailangan pagplanuhin so that these hotels, restaurants, souvenir shops, and other businesses, magkaroon ng opportunity. So ito ngayon ang ginawa ko as a former mayor of Legazpi. Nakita ito ng mga kababayan sa ibang munisipyo ng Albay. In 2016, 2017, we broke the 1 million mark in tourist arrival. Yun ang naging turning point ng Legazpi. And we had 85 national, regional, and even international convention per year that paved the way na nagkaroon ng income ang Legazpi ng over 1 billion para sa aming mga industry. So ito nakapag-create ng opportunity na hindi nakikita sa buong Albay. Ito talaga yung naging vehicle ko na nakita nila. Kailangan talaga siguro baguhin natin ang ating paggogobyerno. Dapat huwag masyado yung mga ayuda. Kasi nauso ngayon dito, Pinky, lahat ng mga, ano ba yun, tupad, akap,
AX.
which do many people, yung mga panandalian na kaligayahan lang. No?
You want a more sustainable approach, I'm assuming.
Correct, correct. I think the people believe na tama tayo. Kasi kita mo, binibigyan ng 5,000, nagpipila sila, pero ang 5,000, pag madali nila makuha, 1 linggo lang, ubos na. No? So nakita ngayon ng taong bayan na yung ginawa ko sa Legazpi, nakapag-generate ako ng more than 10,000 jobs, especially yung mga malls na nag-invest sa amin.
Yeah, but exactly, ano po ang inyong ginawa? Give us an example of exactly what you did. Anything specific?
Yeah, yung branding ng city, dati wala tayo. Ginawa natin with consultation with the private sector. Nag-branding kami sa Legazpi to make it the top 5 convention destination in Luzon.
I see.
So meaning, nag-invite kami ng almost all the association, government agencies. Alam mo, Pinky, pumunta lahat yan. Mga fraternity, even the national events like PRISAA, like Palarong Pambansa. Talagang kinuha namin yan. Mga conventions ng Lions, Rotary, JCs. Ito talaga, doon kumita yung Legazpi. Doon napunta kami sa mapa. No? And even the DOT recognizes Legazpi as the top 10 in Luzon right now. Inaabot lang talaga tayo ng pandemic in 2020. And sa ngayon, ito ngayon ang naging vehicle natin na tinginan nila na masyadong ang Albay stagnant yung ating growth, no? Ang daming infrastructure, Pinky, no? Alam mo, maraming dinala ang mga congressman, billions of money, pero still ang Albay is being considered as one of the poorest province, not only in Bicol and probably in the country, no? So, ang ibig sabihin, yung investment, hindi na papakinabangan ng taong bayan. So, kailangan dito, yung ating mga roads, yung ating mga bridges, doon natin sa mga gateway natin sa mga convention areas or mga tourist attractions natin.
I see. Si Congressman Joey Salceda has conceded, no, Governor? Sabi niya, there's been no greater honor than to love and serve Albay.
Yes, alam mo, Pinky, si Kong Joey is already, kumbaga, an icon yan dito sa Albay. At a former 3-time governor, 3-time congressman, ngayon naman 3-time congressman again. And sana papasok siya as governor. Pero magkaibigan naman kami, pero talagang naiiba yung aming mga pananaw sa pagpatakbo ng gobyerno. Ako kasi ako on executive, Pinky. Para sa akin, importante yung opportunity natin, more on yung mga anong pwede natin may gawa sa isang lugar, like the inclusive growth. Ano ba dito? Yung kailangan yung makikinabang yung local. No? Yung kay Kong Joey, yung approach niya, yung more on the statistics. Doon sa yung mga, more on the national, nakita ng mga tao yun, narinig na more on the national because he's really alam mo naman, Bigyan, nakita mo siguro siya, is really a national figure dyan sa Kongreso.
Yeah.
Which nakikita ng mga kababayan is not adaptable in the province. Kaya
Sa
yung
lokal.
growth,
Sa lokal.
iba kasi Pinky. Ako, I've been in the government. I've been a 6-time mayor. Ibang-iba ang executive sa legislative. No? Karamihan ng mga legislative kasi, gagawa sila ng mga, iba yung project nila, yung tinatawag nilang net, di ba? Nalalagay nila mga roads. Well, hindi naman tayo kumukontra. Pero sa ngayon kasi, in spite ng mga ganitong mga programa, hindi
Alright.
masyadong nakikita ng tao na merong mga pupunta o kaya merong growth, especially sa employment.
Okay, Governor, ang tawag daw sa'yo, tama ba? Dynasty Slayer? Dahil tinalo nyo si dating Governor Al Francis Bichara, as you mentioned a while ago, and then ngayon nga po yung 27 years niyang panunungkulan si Congressman Joey Salceda. Just let's focus on this very briefly, sir, before you go. Yung pong mga kontrobersya na iyong kinakaharap. As you mentioned a while ago, it was in 2022 when you were
22, yeah.
disqualified by the COMELEC for allegedly
Yeah.
itong violating the spending ban, yung inyo pong kinwento kanina. But there's also this, please correct me if I'm wrong, sir, at 2024, the ombudsman rather ordered your dismissal and perpetual disqualification from public service, finding you guilty of grave misconduct on a reassignment of government employees.
Yeah. Actually, Pinky, I treat this as an harassment. As a matter of fact, even the Supreme Court issued a TRO on this. No? Kasi naniniwala sila na ang chief executive pwede tayong mag-move ng tao as long as yung tao binigyan mo ng time to explain at binigay mo sa kanila sa anong pwesto siya, anong pupuntahan niya. At saka ito kasing case na to, ang nag-file sa akin is a media man. Pag nag-move ka baga Pinky ng tao, siguro kung may nakikinig sa atin from the civil service, kailangan yung persona mismo, di ba Pinky? Siya mismo kasi poopektado. Dito nagdududa ako, isang media man who is not even an employee of the Capitol. No?
I see.
So yung nagtataka ako, bakit saka sabi nga ng mga sa civil service dito sa region, bakit ba yan pinal sa ombudsman? Hindi naman graft case yan. It should be a civil service case. It is
I
mandated by the Constitution. Kaya hindi naniniwala ang mga tao. So ngayon po, naka-appeal yan sa CA and I hope, no, nakita ko maganda yung case naman, although we cannot discuss that thoroughly,
Yeah.
nakita ko, Pinky, maganda yung depensa namin. Kasi nga, hindi naman yung persona. Pwede nga nuisance complaint yun, ano? Kaya lang, siyempre, yung ombudsman, they acquire jurisdiction, wala tayong magagawa. So we have really to face it, to appeal it in the Court of Appeal.
At pending pa rin po yan.
Pending pa rin yan. And
Opo.
it's appealable still to the Supreme Court.
Opo, after Court of Appeals, meron pa pong SC. At kaya ho kayo napayagan ngang tumakbo dahil sa nakuha yung TRO mula sa Korte Suprema hinggil po dito sa utos ng Ombudsman noong 2024. So, Albay Governor-elect Noel Rosal. Sir, maraming salamat po sa inyong oras at muli, congratulations to you.
Thank you po.
Thank you. And that's On Point. Join us again tomorrow, 7:30 p.m. here on BNC, the Villanueva News Channel. I'm Pinky Webb. Thank you for watching.